Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the final match preview of the season as we look ahead to our final game of the season at home, back at Goodison against Bournemouth. Everton go into off the back of a first win in 5 games. A pretty impressive win, to be honest. I don't think any of us saw it coming, but we got the win. Pretty pleased, and all of a sudden we go into the final game against very much struggling side with a bit more optimism. Ben, I'll start with you, mate. How do you feel going into this one?
A little bit more sort of enthusiastic on the back of that win against Sheffield United, like you say there, James. I didn't see that coming. I thought we'd struggle in that game. I thought we'd struggle to break them down. I thought we'd struggle to keep them out, because they were obviously fighting for Europe still as well at that time. But, it's one of them. It is a bit of a dead rubber for us, but it does make it interesting that Bournemouth, I've got every kind of motivation to try and get the win because, we are going to be directly involved in what is pretty much the only sort of excitement on the final day, which is the relegation zone. Watford's defeat yesterday, coupled with the victory for Aston Villa, makes it really interesting, especially because we just love the Rubber Snake Brigade to go down. That'd be fantastic. But it's interesting that we're going to be involved in it. Personally, I don't care whether Bournemouth do or don't. I'm not part of this big Evertonian sort of Twitter group saying, "Oh, I hate them" and all this. I don't mind Eddie Howe. I think he's a decent manager. He's done a good job with what he's had. But
thank God Owen's not on this show.
But he's not. I don't think Eddie Howe's ever claimed to be a top manager, though.
No, he hasn't. It's
done
media
it.
Agenda.
What the problem is, what everyone forgets about Eddie Howe, was I'm not in any way saying he's a future Everton manager in any way. 'Cause he's not at that level. But he's took that team up from minus 17 points in League One or League Two. He should have a statue outside that ground for what he's done for the club.
And I'm sure he will because he's probably one of the greatest figures in their history.
I mean, Bournemouth. It is Bournemouth. You got to remember and look where he's got them. Where he slipped up is not investing in the right players. If the money they've spent on all right, Ake wasn't a bad buy because it looks like they're going to get double the money off City for him. But you look at the Jordan Ives, the Solankis, players like that. They've wasted a lot. I mean, we've been guilty of wasting a lot of money. It's just we've had more of a foundation to sort of keep us afloat. They've spent money badly like we have, but they've not had that 2 or 3. They haven't got that Richarlison in their team to dig them out of a game, and that's the difference at the moment. The thing is with Bournemouth, you're expecting them to go hell for leather against Everton and try and get the win because they do need the win to stay up. And it's all sort of culminating in what should be an exciting day. But I can see Watford being the team that drop through the trapdoor, to be honest with you. It'd be interesting to see how we approach the game with not much to play for. It looks as though Carlo tries to motivate them against Sheffield United, try to get them, back to sort of some kind of performance after the dross we saw in the previous few games. So, I'm going into it, no sympathy on Bournemouth, hoping that we go and get a comfortable win, just so we can go into the summer with a bit more positivity, really.
Yeah, that's going to be crucial, to be honest. The final game of the season is crucial to sort of determining a bit of the mood, because I remember after we lost that 5-1 against Man City in 2004, that was one of the most depressing summers, and of course Rooney left after that as well. It was horrible. That we don't want to end on an embarrassing note, and for me to lose a home game against a side who could still go down even if they do win is a depressing end to the season, if ever there was one.
Well, an interesting stat for you, here's one for you. If Liverpool, by some eventuality, lose tonight against Chelsea, Everton have got the longest unbeaten run in the Premier League at home. In Europe, even. I think it's in Europe. Because that'd be 10 games unbeaten at home. I know. Only Liverpool have gone longer unbeaten at home.
And to think the last time we got beat at home was off Norwich.
Exactly. So there you go. So there's a little interest after you. So I'd like us to go there. And more than anything, I wouldn't even mind if it ends sort of 5-4, something stupid like that. I just want a good entertaining game. And I want to see some good attack. And
to be honest, it's Everton v Bournemouth. It always seems to be one of those games.
Right, you know what? We know we can defend, and we know we're going to improve the defence. So I'd rather just see that we're going to be able to attack team next season. I'd like Richarlison to get 15 league goals as well. That'd be nice if he could.
Calvert-Lewin, both.
He needs a goal big time.
Yeah, I'd love him to get one.
Richarlison's on 15 all comps, as is Calvert-Lewin. But it would be nice for him to get one of them to get a couple to get 15 league goals.
Yeah, it'd be great to see. And I think that's going to be interesting. Obviously, you say Bournemouth need the win and probably need a comprehensive win as well. So
I think a win might do them. Because I think, isn't it, if Villa and Watford get beat, I think.
Yeah, but Villa would have to lose heavily as well.
All right, okay,
they've got better goal difference, I think.
I didn't realise it was that big a gap, to be honest with you. I thought it was only
Villa
2 goals.
Villa like -4, I think it is. Villa are -27 and Bournemouth -31, I think.
27, so 4 goal swing.
Yeah, so they could do with beating us by 2.
They'll beat us 3-0, don't worry.
Well,
Watford could get beat about 5-0 against Arsenal, couldn't he? If Arsenal go for it.
Yeah, but I think Bournemouth will go hell for leather with us because they need to.
Why not?
But that could play into our hands because we have been quite solid defensively, despite or even when we've been awful, with the exception of the Wolves game where we did capitulate. We haven't lost by more than 1 goal, even in the games we haven't played. In fact, we've only lost twice, and they were against sides that, dare I say it, are better than us.
You forget that, don't you? You know, in the midst of all this crisis, you know, we have lost 2 games. I think Everton Twitter world's mad because you go from 2, disappointing defeats to Wolves and Tottenham away, but you go from that and it is literally like the end of the world. Every single player's got to go. We've got to sack everyone and get rid of every single player. Beat Sheffield United 1-0 and play okay, and it's like, oh no, I can see the positives there. We're looking good again, and it's just exhausting. You know,
that's Everton fan.
It's exhausting though, isn't it? It's like, well, why do we always have to be red hot or ice cold? Why can't we just be, all right, we know the season's not going to go that far, so we're doing okay and then we'll improve. Why does it have to be, we're going to win the league or we're going to sack everyone? It's madness.
It is, that is Everton in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Really. But yeah, I do think we weathered the storm better than I thought. You know, that with those 4 games, Tottenham, Southampton, Wolves and Villa, we were abysmal. Let's be honest. In all 4 of those games, we still managed to avoid defeat in 2 of them, and only 1 of them we lost heavily. Considering what could have happened under a Marco Silva or a Martinez in a period like that,
could have got ugly.
Yeah, could have got very ugly, and we weathered the storm relatively well. And I think that's the one thing, we do seem to be a lot more resilient at the back, and I think that's going to be crucial in a game like this, where we're going to have a team who are going to be throwing everything at us.
I think it's going to be the best game of the day. I think it's got, like, for the neutral, I think it's going to be the most exciting game.
It's got to be. We've just got to make sure that we come out on the right side of it.
Yeah,
at the end of the day. Because too many times we've been the sideshow in these kind of games where there's been thrillers and we've always seemed to be the losing team.
I'd love to see that. In a way, actually, I would like to see the back of Bournemouth because I hate going Bournemouth away. It's an awful fixture.
Precisely.
We haven't won there. Apart from in the cup.
Exactly. I think that in itself is a good reason to get rid of them. And for that reason, we should be trying to hammer the final nail into the coffin.
I'm with you there on that one now.
I think that's what we've got to do. I think it might be best to set up a bit more defensively, dare I say it. And I mean, that's weird to say against the struggling side, but given the way
we'll get chances in that game, won't we?
We should be playing on the counter-attack in that game and be setting up to break like that. And if we do it right, which, to be fair, I thought we did quite well against Sheffield United, where we set up that way, I thought. If we carry on like that, I think we've got a good chance of
getting the 3 points.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Terry, how about you, mate? How do you feel about this one?
I'm feeling pretty relaxed. I mean, it's strange to be going into it. Obviously, it's one of the big games of the day, as you've said, but we're looking at we want to protect little stats. We'd like to get Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin onto certain amounts of goals. I'd quite like to see, if not else, Moise Keane start and possibly get a goal so we can end a difficult season on a good note, maybe. Whereas they're obviously looking at Premier League survival. But the biggest thing for me is, if this was Marco Silva still here, it'd be the most nailed-on defeat he'll ever know. We'll get battered in easy. Whereas Carlo's got, he's not lost at Goodison yet, and I don't think he's ever lost even the bottom 3. I want both of those things protected. I don't want him to lose at home at Goodison. I don't want him to lose to a member of the bottom 3. And frankly, of the bottom, the 3 sides in question, obviously not a Chigon, I think Bournemouth are the ones who probably already feel like they're down because they've got, with the goal difference, they've got a job got such a big mountain to climb. It's not just they can't stay safe just by beating us. They've got to beat us by a certain amount of goals. They've got to wait for other results to go their way. I think, yeah, they will turn up. They will go for
They'll
it.
have a right go.
But I think they're finished. I think they know they're down. So one goal goes in against Bournemouth. I think that's it. They're finished. The game's done.
I think that's a very good point.
But I'm like yourselves. If you'd ask me who's I want to go down, can all of them?
I don't mind Villa. At least
I think Villa's the one at most wouldn't mind staying up, and I think Villa will be the team who stay up.
But it's good to see Villa back. But it's good to see Villa there. I think.
I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered either way. With Villa, but I'd rather they stay.
They've all got their downsides, though. I don't know if you remember Villa when they were when it was us and Villa were they had crack on top 6 now. It was a top 4 when it was Everton and
we finished above them every time, though, didn't we? Even though we both missed out, we always finished above them.
Yeah, but honestly, Villa, I'd be happy to see Villa go as well, because Villa would give them a year or two more in the Premier League to get established, and they'll be like Newcastle. Leeds will do it if they stay up. All these clubs who think they're bigger than Everton because they've had 5 minutes where they haven't been relegated. So I'd love to see them go down for that reason, for this phony rivalry that they probably try and create with us the second they're safe. Watford, see reason A. They did make a phony rivalry, plastic snakes and all that bollocks.
It doesn't bother me if it's a rivalry between two big clubs, though. I've got no problem with us making Leeds, Newcastle, Aston Villa a rival. What's pathetic for me is when it's Watford are trying to make themselves rivals. Watford are even, in my opinion, in the same league as Everton, whereas at least those sort of Villa and Newcastle, it can be a bit of a rivalry, a bit of a feisty game, because that there's good fans behind there. Watford, I just waste space. Elton John aside,
if you look at the people always talk about the historical league tables, and Leeds and Villa and that would always be in that top 20. I think Watford would probably be in League One equivalent in that sort of all-time table.
They've never won a major trophy, have they?
Yeah, but even league averages, I think they've been third tier at times and stuff like that. I think Bournemouth would be in the 4th tier.
Yeah, Bournemouth. There's a couple of things at Bournemouth. They seem to have the Indian sign over us, don't they? They always seem to get results against us. At their ground especially, not so much.
That one early this season was awful. That was on the worst moment of the season for me. Could have gone second if we'd have won or something. It was
That's right, yeah. We all know how that works. But and let's be honest, as a club themselves, above the picture in their tunnel above the walking onto the pitch is Margaret Thatcher, and they all touch it as they go up. So they're a proper little.
I don't get that. I don't get that one, to be honest. I don't get why everyone says all that, but it's politics. That's football. I care about football.
No,
I think everyone just thinks that they are proper cry-arses, the team. They are little the little weasels, the players. I don't like some of their players.
I wish our players would be like that. Instead of passive.
When you think about the Premier League, the league is pretty good, and the media all love buying into it. But the league's pretty good for providing narratives and stories, and what I think the narrative of the day. Villa and West Ham will pass without incident. I think this game will pass without much incident, but I think Watford Arsenal, after that cojones comment that Troy Deeney made about Arsenal a few years ago, how much would some of those Arsenal players love to send Watford down?
I completely forgot about that, and that'll be a very interesting little narrative you've just brought up there.
Yeah. It had some excitement to the final day, and I'd like to see Everton sign off with a win. Obviously, if we're being picky, I'd like to see us sign off with certain players get goals. Set us up nicely going into the pre-season. Next season, it's going to come really quick. But as the league in general, I think that the story of the day will be Arsenal-Watford, because that's when you're watching Match of the Day that night. I think that'll be the one, and it's just a shame there's no fans in the stadium, because I don't know if you remember previous days when it's gone to the last day and several clubs can go down.
The limbs and the pitch invasions and
the radios on like that and all.
Yeah, everyone's got a big massive wireless radio up to their ear.
Match of the Day have done things as well, where they've shown the 3 games at the same time and just flipped between one and the other.
They'll probably still do that, won't
They'll
they?
still do that. It'll just be empty stadiums.
The fans cry, is it?
I don't think they'll do that without the excitement of the fans. There won't be as much spectacle. I think they'll just cover the game, the relegation battle one after the other, and then the final one, it'll be the one who stayed up, or vice versa.
I just think it'll be like they'll just shake the camera a little bit to pretend there's some kind of limbs.
They have crowd noise, don't they? Like, they do have fake crowd noise.
Yeah, honestly, if it's this weekend, it's going to make me miss the crowd noise. The crowds, sorry, not the noise. The crowds more than anything. Because
what happens? Whoever stays up, do they start like throwing cardboard cutouts of people onto the pitch? So,
no, what they do is they pay £1 million and build a stand. That's what they do. They pay £1 million and build a stand to celebrate the relegation, or just not for themselves because they can't wait till the fans are back, just to rub it in the faces of every other team. That's all. That reason alone.
Oh, finish 17th. Suck on that one, everyone.
Yeah. We're building a stand. That's like the analogy I made before, like sending a screen to Chelsea's ground for winning the Premier League title. It's like putting one outside Everton's ground and we stayed up. Well, yeah, Everton stayed up every bloody season. Chelsea have won about 5 Premier Leagues. You know what I mean?
Interesting. But one final little thing before we finish up. I can't recall the last time that Everton actually had a part to play on the final day in a relegation battle. Thankfully, we've not been involved in one for a while. But I think the last time we actually had a part to play in one was 1999, and Southampton beat us on the final day to stay up, I think, and there was a pitch invasion at the Dell.
I can't say I remember that one. To be fair, I'm trying to.
I only remember that one.
Try and get there now at the end. Trying to think. Literally off the top of my head, what I can. I'm sure we've sent teams down. I'm sure we've sent teams down that I've been there for, because I wasn't going to match in '99. I didn't go till 2003. But I'm sure I've seen someone go down.
West Brom went down, but when Dunk played his last game, but they'd already gone, I think.
Oh, they'd already. All right, okay.
Who else have we had? I can't even remember who we've had on some of the final days. Thinking about.
What I mean, we've probably played relegated teams, haven't we, on the final day at times?
But we're going to send Bournemouth down.
This is definitely the first time since '99, I think, where we've had a team go into a game against us with like relegation on the line. I can't remember anything like that. I only know the Southampton one at the Dell in '99 because of the Premier League years on Sky, and they played like Fatboy Slimmers. They showed that one, so and obviously like this was like Kevin Campbell and his pomp and that we just beat West Ham 6-0 the week before, so
makes sense.
Yeah, this is how much of a geek you become when you're on furlough and you sit at home and watch all the Premier League years back to back. Yeah, there you go. It's interesting though, because it's strange. 21 years have passed since we've like sent a team down.
Been in a game that mattered.
It's a good point, actually. Yeah, that's painful.
Since we've been in a final day game that mattered to anyone. The other one I can remember is when we stopped Newcastle getting in the Champions League when Jelavic scored. That's the only one I can remember when Pardew was there. He said
got his 8 year
we're miles ahead of Everton. Beat them 3-0, I think.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, this right now will be the very end of Alan Pardew's 8-year contract that he signed with Newcastle in 2012.
And it's probably bad to say that they probably wouldn't have done much worse or better if he'd have been there or not, really. They've not really done anything, have they? They've been down since, though. To be fair, they've got relegated since.
They did get relegated, but I think he got relegated and not come back, I think, if he was there.
But is he? Oh, yeah, I suppose. Not really any worse than Steve Bruce, like, but
Bruce has done a good job there, I think.
He's done a good job, but he's not a good manager. He's an average manager, isn't he?
He's a pragmatic manager like a Moyes or an Allardyce, isn't he?
That's the bracket Moyes is in now for me, definitely. Mark Hughes, that kind of just boring dinosaurs of management.
Grey hair, they've all got grey hair.
Hodgson,
grey hair. Yeah. Don't hire a manager with grey hair unless he's got a raised eyebrow and he's Italian.
I was exactly, apart from Carlo, because he looks fantastic, doesn't he? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like Italians with grey hair are just better looking, aren't they?
Yeah, to be fair, you're right there.
But I think the looking at the end of the season now, it's like this is the first time I can think of a game where there's been something riding on it that we've played in.
But not for us, innit?
Well, it's never been. It's never been for us apart from 2003 when we lost the UEFA Cup.
Oh Jesus, yeah. It's just. It feels like we're just limping towards the end of the season. Like Terry said there, the most positive thing that we can think of it is if like a Moise Keane or an Anthony Gordon managed to get on the score sheet, or Branthwaite putting another good performance, and that's a real damnation of our season. But we've just got to limp into the end, and I just hope it's a good game to finish the season on.
Yeah. I just hope we win. Believe it or not, that's actually what
I hope we finish 11th because I wouldn't like Carlo to be the lowest finish for 15 years.
Yeah, that's.
But 2003-04 was the only time since that we've never finished lower than 11th. So I don't want Carlo to be guilty of that, breaking that record.
No, I'm quite confident he won't. To be honest, I do think we'll win, which brings us on to predictions. Ben, prediction for the game.
Oh, the way we played against Bournemouth, normally we'll go 4-3 Everton.
Terry?
Why not?
2-0 Everton.
I'm going to go 3-1 Everton. I think we're going to score 3 for the first time since lockdown.
God.
There's a damn indignation if ever there was one, but yeah, I think we nailed it before. I think Bournemouth need to win comprehensively, and if we go
come at us and we're going to hit them.
And the thing is, I think obviously there'll be scores elsewhere as well that they've got to keep an eye on. Watford and Villa, if they even get a point, they're gone. I think for Bournemouth, if they're not beating us comfortably, which I don't think they will, if they're not in front at like half time, I think their heads might drop.
Yeah, absolutely.
If one of Villa or Watford might get a goal, particularly Villa, I think.
I think Villa might beat West Ham away. I can see Villa going there and winning.
I think if they can beat Arsenal, I think they've got a chance against, a West Ham side who, especially if they are they still beating Man United, by the way?
It's 1-1.
1-1.
It's 1-1. Greenwood scored.
God, he's a good player.
20 minutes left.
Yeah, it's mad to think Greenwood scored 15 goals in the under 18s, and Ellis Sims has got 38.
He's not in the under 18s. Yeah, but I know I'd rather have. He's obviously not ready, is he, Ellis Sims? Let's face it. But it was nice to see him on the bench the other day. I'd like to see him come on, but
yeah, that was what.
Not being funny. We've got Moise Keane can't even get a look in, so I don't think he is.
It's bad that we were all so moralised by the idea of a kid who we've never seen play for the first team getting named on the bench. That's just like
got the Fellaini afro though, hasn't he?
Yeah, well,
it's a key element. You know what I mean?
Afro's always going down well with Everton players. It seems.
Unless you're David Luiz.
Yeah, let's just sign anyone with an afro. We'll be fine. Yeah, we'll leave it at that anyway. Everyone seems a bit more confident going into this game because we thankfully won a game last time, and we look ahead to the final game of the season with optimism. Not only that we might win the game, but also it's the final game of the season, and the season's finally over because we're glad to see the back of it. I think we all will.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so there you go, guys. Let us know how you feel going into this game, and let us know what you think of the season if you're there, and let us know what you're thinking while you're tuning into the obvious trophy lift on the little fake stage that they've built for, God knows how much. But yeah, let us know what you think anyway. Drop us a comment, give this video a like, and subscribe to the Toffee Blues for more great content beyond the season when the transfer window and stuff kicks off as well. So subscribe for that as well. And until next time, thank you for tuning in on the Toffee Blues.